Hare Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jai Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora
Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Who's translating? Stay there? Okay. Yep. It may not be so easy to translate this text, but you just do as good as you can, and what you cannot do doesn't matter. We'll read from the Caitanya Candamrta from Srila Prabhupada Saraswati. Oh, okay. I see, okay.
Kome god treba sprava za prevod, evo, ovo kešta tako će da ovo bezbjeći, jako se ne uzim.
Okay. Let us glorify the boundlessly merciful Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Prince of Vrindavan, to taste the intoxicating sweet waves of the nectar of transcendental love for Krishna, as well as to give that nectar to others. He has now appeared in the transcendental abode of Navadvip as Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. One who is untouched by any piety, who is completely absorbed in irreligion, or one who has never received the merciful glance of the devotees, or been to any holy place sanctified by them, will still ecstatically dance, loudly sing, and even roll about on the ground when he becomes intoxicated by tasting the nectar of the transcendental mellows of pure love of God given by Lord Chaitanya. Let me therefore glorify that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So yes, piety, such a thing, piety. Where is piety? All we know is hypocrisy in this age. Pious prayers, holy faces, but what is behind is a masquerade, a show for the general public. Who in the world is pious, really pious? Piety means purity. Piety, it is explained in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, means steadiness. Steadiness in one's devotional practices. When we are pious, it means that we can actually serve Krishna without interruption. Can we? Not so easily. Yes, sometimes so inspired, other times so down, sometimes thinking, I'm almost on the platform of ecstasy, other times I'm on the edge, maybe I'm over the edge, maybe I'm gone, I'm doomed, maybe there's no hope, I might as well give up. Piety. Where is piety? Anyway, even those who have not been touched by any piety, even one, worse, who is completely absorbed in irreligion, that's the normal activity, the bar around the corner, you know what I mean, the casino that is advertised on the airport, the prostitutes that are found everywhere, along the highway, to serve as truck drivers, and in the city, and wherever you want, next to expensive hotels, so that high-class businessmen in fancy suits who fly business class will not have to spend the night alone, deprived of comfort. Like that, irreligion is everywhere. And what shall we say? It's just, it's our second nature. But even in spite of the fact that we have no piety, that we are completely absorbed in irreligion, even a person who has never received the merciful glance of the devotees, yes, that makes all the difference. If in the middle of our life suddenly a devotee appears, then that devotee will somehow or other leave some transcendental mercy with us. Even if it's a small donation we give, Agyata Sukriti. Agyata Sukriti, unknown spiritual benefit, is attained by the association of devotees. And those who are going further and who get purified even more, they will actually knowingly take up devotional service. And they, by the mercy of the devotees, will be able to continue. But what if you've never met a devotee? Then what? No piety, absorbed in sinful activities. Then what's the case? What if you've never been to a holy place, sanctified by the Vaishnavas? It says it doesn't matter. Even that person will still ecstatically dance, loudly sing, and even roll about on the ground. Because even that person will become intoxicated by tasting the nectar of the transcendental mellows of pure love of God given by Lord Caitanya. In other words, somehow or other Lord Chaitanya's mercy will reach the fallen, conditioned souls. And somehow or other, Lord Caitanya will purify such fallen, conditioned souls and bring them very quickly to an ecstatic life. So, not for those who have attained the merciful sight-long glance of Lord Caitanya, impersonal liberation becomes as palatable as going to hell. The heavenly cities of the demigods become as real as flowers imagined to float in the sky. Pushpa Akash. The poisonous fangs of the untamable black snakes of the senses become broken. The whole world becomes full of joy, and Brahma, Indra, and all the great demigods become like tiny insects. Let us glorify that Lord Caitanya. So this verse was quoted many times by Srila Prabhupada, who pointed out that the poisonous teeth, the fangs of snakes, they are no longer of any danger to one when they are broken. So the senses are compared to such teeth. The senses are constantly biting us, and the poison of the senses is injected into our consciousness. We see something, we want it. We smell, we want to touch, and so on, constantly, the whole day, again and again and again. But now, this poison cannot really take us very far. Even if a devotee gives up devotional service, even if a devotee is again embracing material life, how long can we continue it? It is said a devotee is rasagraha. He is one who has tasted. He has tasted nectar. So once you've tasted, how can you go back to ordinary life? Can you again believe in one life? One little life? Prabhupada used to speak about this with Professor Kotovsky, said like in Moscow. One life, he believes that this one life, is just one little life, is everything. That's all. So once the bigger concept is there, a concept of eternal, ever-growing love, a concept of loving exchange between Krishna and his devotees, even if we are not there, can we again strive for something ordinary and mundane? Have a family, have some children, grow some flowers in the garden, have a cat and a dog, and so on, and look at the car of the neighbors and think, gosh, how come these people have such a big car? It's just inconceivable. So can we become so small again? We can try. Sometimes we want to. Sometimes we want to be, again, an ordinary person. Sometimes we try to be. We give up Krishna consciousness, but we cannot be. Not for long, for a short time. And for a short time, but then it's just too dry. Too dry. When Lord Gorachandra's devotees, who are worshipped even by the demigods, drink the wonderfully sweet nectar of the bliss of pure love of God that flows from the lotus flower of Lord Gorachandra's feet, they become completely intoxicated. In that condition they laugh at Lord Brahma and the other demigods, condemn the impersonalist yogis, and do not consider the great devotees of Lord Vishnu, who do not worship Lord Gorachandra to be very important. Let us glorify that Lord Gorachandra. In India, so many people are bowing down every day to the demigods. If you go to the city of Benares, and the entire city, the presiding deity of the city is Lord Shiva, and on the banks of the Ganga, there are every day thousands of brahmanas seated, performing different pujas, very piously, and people come, and they are also joining in that worship. Many pilgrims, by the thousands, and all, or practically all, to worship the devatas, the demigods. And such worship will only give temporary benefit. So, why would we bother for temporary benefit? Get some blessings now. What's the point? Will only make it worse. After the Russian Revolution in 1918, so many refugees, Russian aristocracy, went to Western Europe. Many used to be prominent personalities in the government, and many would appear on royal gatherings wearing opulent uniforms. And when they went to Western Europe, somehow or other, most of them, got a job as the porter, as the doorkeeper of a hotel. All the big hotels, somehow or other, they had these Russian refugees who were there in uniforms, who were there dressed in uniforms as before, but this time lost glory. So, when one has material success, it is worse than not having any success, because one will lose it again, and then the pain is much greater. You see, once you've been rich, how can you be happy with all the ordinary things? Therefore, praying for material benefit is never beneficial. Then the last verse of the first chapter. What benefit did the world attain when Lord Ram, Lord Nrsimha, and many other incarnations of Godhead killed so many Rakshasa and Daitya demons? How important is it that Lord Kapila and other incarnations revealed the path of Sankhya and Yoga? How glorious is it that Lord Brahma and other guna avatars create, maintain, and destroy the material universes? How auspicious is it that Lord Varaha lifted the earth from the Garbhodak ocean? We do not consider any of these activities to be very important. The most important thing is that Lord Caitanya has revealed the great splendor of pure love of Krishna. Let us glorify that Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Whenever we read this verse in an assembly for an Indian audience, they are shocked. They are shocked. You know, I mean, this sounds practically like blasphemy. What benefit did the world attain when Lord Ram killed so many Rakshasas? What benefit? But so many Rakshasas in the forest of Dandakaranya. Lord Ramachandra killed 14,000 Rakshasas in one fight. Then he wiped out practically the majority, the major Rakshasas at least, of Lanka. So many man-eaters were killed by Lord Ramachandra. But the point is that certainly that killing of the Rakshasas made this world a better place even for pious souls who would get a chance then to continue pious activities such as yagyas and sacrifices to the Supreme Lord Sri Vishnu, and in this way become free from the entangling nature of samsara, of birth and death. All this was possible. So this gift was given by Lord Ramachandra. By killing these Rakshasas, he actually gave facility for yajna to carry on. But what is the point of such yajna if it is not aimed at pure, unalloyed love for Krishna, such as is found amongst the residents of Vrindavan? When Krishna had left for Mathura, when Akrura had taken him, at that time Krishna killed Kamsa. And after killing Kamsa, Krishna was ready to return to Vrindavan. And still, Krishna did not go. Why did Krishna not go? He wanted to, but the Yadus said, no, you cannot go, you have to stay, because now that Kamsa is killed, so many of his allies will come to attack Mathura, and who will protect? Who will protect Mathura? Ugrasena is old, he cannot do it. So you have to stay. Krishna said, sorry, but I have to go back. I have to go back to Vrindavan. I'm going home. I'm going. Then the Yadus said no. There was a heavenly voice. And that heavenly voice said that the 8th son of Vasudeva and Devaki would kill Kamsa. Then, who killed Kamsa? That is the proof that you are the son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Then it is your duty to stay here and protect your parents. Krishna is really thinking about that one. This is too much. This is too much. But how can you argue against such celestial voices? The Akashvani. When the Akashvani speaks, the demigods, when they speak in the sky, they never speak a lie. So what to do now? So Krishna then was forced to stay in Vrindavan. At that time, after some time, Krishna decided to send a messenger. And when he sent that messenger, he chose not just any messenger, but he chose Uddhava. So Uddhava was sent to Vrindavan with good instructions, and Uddhava also was carrying many gifts from Krishna. And when the residents of Vrindavan received these gifts from Krishna, they were very upset. They were very upset. Now he thinks that we want such things. He thinks that we can be satisfied, that we can be purchased by some gifts, by some mundane opulence. The residents of Vrindavan, they didn't want anything other than Krishna, and nothing else would do. Where is such a goal available? Lord Ramachandra did not give that unalloyed bhakti. None of the other incarnations. Not Lord Nrsingadev. Lord Kapila certainly explained the path of Sankhya and Yoga, and with that, the path to liberation from material existence. But not that path of pure, unalloyed love. Somehow or other, amazingly so, it has reached us. We know about it. We know about it. Even in India, the most pious of the pious, they don't know. I've had so many experiences in India of the piety of the people. Once we were in South India and we were doing a Harinam in the street, and this lady, she comes out of the house with a big brass pot with water. And she says, she gestures that she wants to wash my feet. And I'm going, no. And then she just looked at me from, you can't refuse. It is because it is the tradition. It is the tradition. It's my duty. I must do this. And again I said, no. And then what she did, she just took that pot with water and just threw it right over my feet and my shoes, and I was soaked in my shoes. And I realized there and then, you can't fight tradition. It's more powerful. It's just more powerful. We can come with, no. Because the piety of that tradition is so great. On another occasion, I was giving a lecture in Kanpur, and towards the end of the lecture, there was a man and he wanted to speak. He started to breathe heavily, and I knew he's going to say something. And sure enough, and then he said, you spoke so wonderful. You spoke of the Krish Dhatu, Ka for Kala, Ra for Rakta, Sa for Sukla, Krish Dhatu. So he said, yes, Tri Yuginarayan, Ka, the Blackish incarnation, Ra, the red Yagya, and Sa Sukla, the white incarnation, Tri Yuginarayan. I said, your explanation indeed is very brilliant. I can see you are a learned man. Yet, the Vaishnava Acharyas give even another explanation of the Krish Dhatu. And that is that Krish comes from akarsan, which means to attract. And Na comes from Anand. And that Krishna can attract anyone and bring them the greatest happiness. That is. And then the man showed even greater symptoms of ecstasy. And said, your explanation is better than mine. So it turned out that this man was a professor who was heading up a Sanskrit college. So here is a professor heading up a Sanskrit college, explaining something about a Krish Dhatu, and the professor admits that a village pumpkin from Holland, who doesn't really know that much Sanskrit, who bluffs his way through any Sanskrit, right? And he was saying that my explanation was better than his. How is it possible? By the mercy of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Because we have that knowledge of that unalloyed devotional service of the eternal associates of Krishna in Vrindavan. Not that we are in any way like them. Oh no, far from that. We are still impious, still irreligious, still not committed at all to service. Chanting the holy name, do we have to? Please. But in spite of all that, we have knowledge. And that's what can be done. That cannot be taken away. That is not so easily forgotten. Once the eyes are opened, Om Agyanati Mandasya Kanana Sarakya. Once the eyes are opened, it's not easy to close them again. That is our predicament. So here, after the first chapter, we can see how we have actually received that mercy of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, knowledge of the topmost, although we are not yet qualified nor willing to dedicate ourselves to the topmost, still we are attracted to it. Somehow or other, we are attracted to it. And it's hard to leave it. And that is why we are still here. Somehow or other. Or why we're here again. Somehow or other, we are attracted to it. Moving his hands and feet, raising the two golden rods of his arms, trembling as he dances and loudly calling out, Hari, Hari, in ecstatic bliss, Lord Chaitanya Chandra vanquishes the inauspiciousness of this world. To that Lord Chaitanya Chandra, whose eyes are like two large lotus flowers, who is immersed in tasting the sweet nectar of pure love of Krishna, and who is the crest jewel of all incarnations, I offer my respectful obeisances. Devotional service is the one thing that can drive away inauspiciousness. Nothing else. There is no other, nothing else. Not a big sacrifice, not so many mantras. It was interesting. I was reading about mantras, and that mantras gain or lose their strength according to the piety or the impiety of the environment. So, but the Maha Mantra is not by any means dependent. Not dependent on anything external. The Maha Mantra is entirely dependent on the Maha Mantra alone. So it says. Therefore the Maha Mantra is always potent. Even in the most impious, most inauspicious condition. Therefore the Maha Mantra is the one thing that can penetrate anywhere and everywhere without condition. The Brahmanas were chanting the Gayatri Mantra. And that Gayatri Mantra is so exalted because it gives one the full understanding of transcendence. I'm speaking about the Brahma Gayatri Mantra, which is chanted by the Brahmanas. But in order to chant that Gayatri Mantra, one must have qualification. Not anyone can chant that Gayatri Mantra. First, one must adhere to principles of goodness. Then one can chant. So, it reaches out into this world to those who are in goodness. It is within what Bhagavatam describes that the mission of the Lord is to reclaim those who are in goodness. But the Maha Mantra does not make such distinction. It is not only reaching out to those who are in goodness, it is reaching out to anyone and everyone. Everyone gets purified. Devotees and hell's angels alike, and whoever else is in between, are all getting benefit from the chanting of the holy name, which is changing the entire situation of the universe. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that when you have a jewel, that jewel is very beautiful and effulgent. But when you put that jewel on a black background, it looks even better. Isn't it? In the same way, we are here in the age of Kali. And sometimes we say that, oh, it's so bad, the age of Kali. Do you know the things that are going on? Have you heard? And we tell some Kali story, some Kali Yuga story. But actually all this blackness and darkness of this age of Kali is simply there to make the pastimes of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu look more wonderful. That's all. It has no other significance, no meaning at all. Kali Yuga. Not much meaning. Can we even call this Kali Yuga? Or should we call this Chaitanya Yuga? Is this the Yuga which is predominated by Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu? Then, is this the Yuga where every jiva is touched by the mercy of Mahaprabhu? And isn't that what the topic was of the discussion between Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Haridas Thakur? Wasn't Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu in great anxiety about all those living beings who were not getting the mercy, who somehow or other were escaping? What about those who did not get the human form of life? How to deliver those? The non-moving entities. And Haridas mentioned. First Haridas said, "My dear Lord, please don't be in anxiety." Which is very nice because mostly the devotees are praying, "Oh my Lord, I'm so much in anxiety, please save me." But this time, no. Haridas says, "My Lord, please don't be in anxiety." He says, when the chanting is going on everywhere, the echo that comes off the trees, that is the chanting of the trees. In this way, these trees will also be delivered. Not only the trees, imagine how many living entities there are in this room. We cannot possibly imagine how many germs. And all the germs in this room are purified. This very room has been changed for the fact that so many years, the chanting has been going on here. So many years the deities have come here. All the living entities that are everywhere here, they have become their devotional service by all that kirtan. By the prasadam that was everywhere, and all those insects, there's plenty of them that have had some of the prasadam or even some blood with Mahaprasadam in it, right? Even they got purified, absolutely. So the auspiciousness of this movement is inconceivably great, inconceivably great. And then, since here in this particular camp, I don't know for how many years now, this Fruska Goranga program is going on, right? People that come here after the devotees are gone, they are, according to Prabodhananda, they are getting the benefit of going to holy places which have been purified and sanctified by the presence of devotees. See, this place is not only a place where we gather for some inspiration, so that we can go home and that we can sort of somehow or other motivate ourselves a little bit to keep on chanting. No, all that chanting, all the transcendental things that are here are benefiting all the other visitors that come here for the rest of the year. That is the truth. So, just imagine how great is the benefit of Caitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. You can imagine it, and it goes way beyond. He vanquishes the inauspiciousness of this world. To Lord Hari, his eyes now like millions of rain clouds, shedding torrents of tears, the opulence of pure love of Krishna, making him laugh at millions of Vaikuntha worlds. So, first of all, his eyes like millions of rain clouds, shedding so many tears. Where is all the water coming from? He cannot be human. How can anyone cry like that? It's not possible. Look and see. I mean, rivers, serious, look, rivers are streaming from his eyes. There is no body that can contain rivers. How can rivers flow from a man's body? He cannot be a man. How can he be of this world? He must be unlimited. He must be the unlimited Supreme Lord. How can he be anything else? But the amount of tears that he is crying, never before has anything like this been seen in the world. And now we are seeing in our mind's eye. We are seeing. Does anyone want any proof that Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord? Look how he cries. Look at those tears. And it is described when he stood in the Jagannath Mandir in the back next to the Garuda Stamba, that there was a drain, and the tears would just run down that drain like a flow, as if the tap was open. It's described. Yes. But that's not everything. The opulence of pure love of Krishna, which Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu displayed, made him laugh at millions of Vaikuntha worlds. Yes. Even Vaikuntha, where we get the equal position of the Lord, a body the same as the Lord, the same opulence as the Lord. Even Vaikuntha will never satisfy one of those followers of Gauranga. And why not so? It is said that in Vaikuntha, the 5 rasas that exist in Golok are not available. In Vaikuntha, there is Santaras, there is Dasyaras, and there is Gauravasakyaras. So Gauravasakyaras means friendship mixed with awe and reverence. Therefore, in Vaikuntha, there is only 2.5 ras. 2.5. So the higher experiences of intimacy with Krishna don't exist in Vaikuntha. Because in Vaikuntha, one will never forget that Narayan is the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the love of Vaikuntha cannot match the love of Vrindavan. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was laughing at millions of Vaikuntha worlds. His interest was Raja. May Lord Chaitanya, whose shoulders are like a lion's, whose smiling cheeks are the sweetest of all sweet things, whose body displays various wonderful symptoms of ecstatic love of Krishna, whose features are as splendid as the whirl of a blossoming golden lotus flower, and who is Sri Radha and Krishna, joined in a single form, protect you all. The lion is the Lion King. He has no competitor. He has no competitor. No one can stand up against him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared under this Simha Lagna, or the rising sign at the time of his birth was Leo, or lion. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu indeed was lion-like. Sometimes he's known as Gauranga Simha, who enters into the heart and drives away all the sinful remnants that are there, that are fleeing like animals in the forest when a lion appears. So in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will protect us. Swalpama Yasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahate Ubayat. He will protect us from the greatest danger. The greatest danger, well, let me quote Ravindra Sarup, who always likes to remind us of Pogo, right? Pogo is a cartoon hero, one of the earlier ones, somewhere in the 50s. And Pogo is a little bear. And at one point, Pogo said, "I've met the enemy. He is us." And Ravindra Sarup has quoted it at least 100 times. So I even went as far as Googling Pogo on the internet just to see what Pogo looked like. I've got Pogo pictures by now. Pogo has, by the mercy of Ravindra, definitely entered into my life. And with that I remember, we've met the enemy. He is us. So now also you can Google Pogo Don't forget. Alright? So, Pogo makes the point that the greatest danger is indeed we ourselves. Because, yes, Krishna consciousness, I believe in it. It's the truth. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada is there to testify. That's not the issue. That's not the issue. The issue, the real issue is me. I can have faith in Krishna. I can have faith in Prabhupada. But do I have faith in myself? Can I do it? Can I do it? I'm not so sure. I hope so. I'm praying. Well, nicely dressed up. Looking kind of impressive, but still not so sure. How to do it? How can I do it? Knowing everything about Vrindavan, the finest conclusions that even learned scholars who are heading up Sanskrit colleges don't know. Brahmins who are extremely qualified, and yet they don't know. I know. We know. We know. We know very well. We know why the devotional service of the residents of Vrindavan is of the topmost quality. We know. We know. We've heard it so many times. That uncompromised devotional service. But who can do it? Who can do it? Can we do it? Radha Krishna Seva Pavo E Abhilasi. No. We are chanting with great, very prayerful to Tulasi Devi, praying to be engaged in their service. Yes, make me a maid servant. Why not? Gopi Bhav. But at the same time, so far away from that. At the same time, so much in the material world. Therefore, when we fall short, when we are confronted with our own limitations, with our own inability to actually come up to the level of the resonance of Vrindavan, to make it true, or to even follow the four regulative principles for that matter, when we fall short, then our only hope is Gauranga. Our only shelter is Gauranga. There is no other shelter. Therefore, for those who are weak, therefore for those who are actually even hardly able to do the basics, even the basics are hard, the mercy of Lord Caitanya, somehow or other, that mercy of Lord Caitanya, that is what we need. That is our protection. It's the only thing that can protect us from the emptiness in our heart. Otherwise, our hearts are not filled with love for Krishna, and the result is they're empty. This emptiness in the heart is unbearable. It is screaming to be filled, screaming by something, and our restlessness is increasing day by day. Day by day, our restlessness is getting greater because the emptiness in our heart is so overwhelmingly strong. Then it is that mercy of Lord God. Where is that mercy available? That is the next question. Of course, in the chanting of the holy name. Of course, prasadam. All these things are there. Absolutely. Not just prasadam, but the remnants of the Vaishnavas. Remember Chaitanya Charitamrita? That story of Kalidas. Very interesting story. Absolutely. This Kalidas was quite a devotee because Kalidas somehow or other, by hook or by crook, got the remnants of every Vaishnava in Bengal. Somehow or other. Except for Jadu Thakur. Jadu Thakur was a great devotee, but from quite a low birth from a Sudra background, and he was extremely humble. So Jadu Thakur, oh no, he would never give anyone his remnants. Oh no, I am so fallen. Oh no. But Kalidas went there. And Kalidas someone offered some mangoes in the evening and, just around dinner time and to the family. And later on, they had the mangoes and they threw the seeds and the skins outside, and then Kalidas licked the plates and sucked the seeds and was eating those skins. Oh, he had the remnants of Jadu Thakur and he jumped up and down in ecstasy. Then later, Kalidas was in Jagannath Puri when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. And when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was about to go into the Jagannath temple, his servant Govinda would always wash his feet. Mahaprabhu would hold out his feet and the servant would throw some water over his feet. And Kalidas just put his hand under the feet, drank it. Then again, drank it. Third time, Lord Chaitanya grabbed his arm and said, "Stop! I've given you more mercy than I have given to anyone else." So that is the punchline of that whole pastime. That is the punchline. That is the essence. That by getting the mercy of all these Vaishnavas, by taking their remnants, the result was what Kalidas got was even more mercy than those other Vaishnavas. Not only was he getting the same mercy, not only was he getting the qualities of those Vaishnavas, he was getting more than they got. Just see. Just see. Therefore, taking remnants with the permission of the Vaishnavas is a blessing. Therefore, even stealing remnants of the Vaishnavas is a blessing. Somehow or other, get the remnants of the Vaishnavas. Yeah. So, how else to get the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? How else? Who can help me now? Any more ways? Please, when you chant the names of Lord Nityananda. Yeah, he is. But more when you chant Hare Krishna. Huh? Yeah. Now, I think the one thing that is missing is the element of giving. Of giving. Not only the element of us, ourselves taking mercy, but the element of us becoming an agent. Because somehow or other that mercy comes through us. How, I don't know. Whether it is some Maha water on the plants, or whether it is, some prasadam here or there, or Harinam in the street, or organizing Rath Yatra in Novi Sad, whatever it is, right? But somehow or other that we are an agent of that mercy. So it's described. That cannot be overlooked. So anyway, and there is of course so much more. Just a few points for you tonight before you enter into sweet meditation throughout the night. When you see that effulgent golden form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walking into your dreams, 2 arms raised, streams of tears everywhere. Streams. Like that. Yes. So, may the Lord be there in our dreams, and may we taste some ecstasy in our dreams, and then may our dreams come true. And in that way, may we greatly benefit from being part of this ecstatic movement of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabodhananda is describing our life. The only thing is, he has a little bit more transcendental vision than we have. We tend to sometimes see our life from a little bit more mundane perspective. But then when we are looking at our own spiritual life, at our movement, through the glasses of these verses of the Chaitanya Candamrta, then we, for a moment, right, might just get a glimpse of like what we're part of actually. And that is the reason why I chose to speak of this. Not to entertain you with some nice Gora Katha, not to just keep you busy, keep you off the street, but to give you an idea of what this really, what this movement really is. Through the mercy of Prabodhananda Saraswati, who was an uncle of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, the brother of Venkata Bhatta. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, after that he made a 6-year journey through South India. Of those 6 years, he spent 3 months in Sri Rangam during the rainy season, and in those 3 months, the rainy season, he stayed in one place and was regularly discussing with Venkata Bhatta, a great scholar in the Sri Sampradaya. His brother was Prabodhananda Saraswati, a sannyasi. The son of Venkata Bhatta was Gopal Bhatta, who later joined Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Vrindavan and became one of the 6 Goswamis. And Prabodhananda Saraswati was the spiritual master of Gopal Bhatta. And Prabodhananda himself also went to Vrindavan and saw Mahaprabhu also in Jagannath Puri and was a close and intimate associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we will read more in the next few days. And what you'll see from this Chaitanya Candamrta is you see faith, deep, strong faith. And that faith, it ignites faith. Therefore, this is a wonderful book because it ignites faith in us. And faith is the key. When faith is strong, you can do any damn thing. Then you can take any austerity. When faith is weak, then you are fake. Like that. Well, that was the beginning. Hope to speak more on this topic, and in the next few days, the short time that we are here together, I hope that you found it inspiring, and I will not go with a late kirtan tonight because the voice is just recovering from the Rath Yatra that we did in the Netherlands, and I don't want to blow it the night before the Rath Yatra here. So I think the voice wants rest. By the way, the back wants rest, the front also, the top, the bottom, everything in between is sort of telling me, KK Swami, lie down, go to sleep. So, I don't want to do that here in front of all of you. So with permission, I'll end now and escape. But we will surely continue later on. Yeah? And questions, if you save them for a rainy day, or that means for later, for run, as they say in Australia. That for Ron. Ron is short for later on. Later on. Later on. The questions are for Ron, alright? No worries. Thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Caitanya Candamrta ki jai. Shri Prabhupada Saraswati ki jai.